Welcome to a tutorial with Flower Cardians. This build uses Super All-In and Magical Stone Excavation to make boards with 3 Lightflare and 3 Lightshower. So to start off, we're going to activate flower stacking. And flower stacking will get Cherry Blossom with Curtain, Cherry Blossom, and Peony with Butterfly. When we're stacking, we're going to put Cherry Blossom with Curtain on top, then Cherry Blossom, and then Peony with Butterfly because we need a tuner. So we will aim to get Willow after our activation of Cherry Blossom. Normal summon Pine to draw into Curtain, special summon Curtain and draw into Cherry Blossom. Cherry will special summon and we will sacrifice it to draw the top card. It's Peony with Butterfly. Wow! We will get ourselves a Willow. Special summon that Willow, and then we are going to shuffle back in that Cherry to our deck. We draw a Magical Stone Excavation, which is really helpful for getting spells back because we have extra cards. We start our next play by special summoning our Peony with Butterfly, and we discard Rhoda, which is sad, but we can get through. We activate our next Willow and we shuffle back in that Curtain and we draw a Pine. Thankfully, we'll be able to shuffle that away eventually. We are going to special summon Moonflower Viewing and draw into Cherry Blossom. We can special summon that. And in this case, we have options to blind activate it or to not. We're going to blind activate and hope we draw something. Thankfully, we drew a Curtain. So we can get another Willow, and with this, we are going to aim to shuffle back in Willows that are already in the grave. Our goal is to have either 1 Willow in grave and 1 in field, and then 1 in deck, or some number of Willows in deck more than 0. We special summon our Zebra Grass, and we're going to shuffle in our Pine and Curtain. Oh, just Pine actually, and that will help get that brick out of our hand. So from here, we are going to make the decision to blind special summon Curtain, and we ended up discarding a flower stacking, which is sad because that information is very helpful. At this point though, we have decisions. We can make Board Fly, we can make Lightshower, or we can make another Moonflower Viewing. And we make another Moonflower Viewing in hopes of getting Super All-In. Thankfully, we drew a Super All-In. This is going to be one of the most important pieces for the deck. So at this point, we are going to special summon out another Peony with Butterfly and get rid of that Moonflower Viewing. We're going to blind special summon Cherry Blossom with Curtain. Thankfully, that was a successful activation. At this point, we can special something else from the extra deck, and we can also use Monster Reborn to get back helpful things. We have a few options as far as what to do. We could go into a Board Fly, we could try to keep extending, but the goal is to get Lightshower in grave or on field and then return another synchro to the extra deck with Super All-In. here we make Lightshower and we get rid of our pine, which is usually helpful. But because we can use things like Monster Reborn to get back our Moonflower viewing, draw that card again, and activate Super All-In, we are in, we're looking good. So we can activate Super All-In, we'll return the Moonflower viewing, and cards that we will get back are our 2 Willows and our Moonflower viewing, along with our Pine. There are other ways to do this, but this is simply the way that happened in this deck, or in this game, because this deck is not linear. We drew a flower stacking, and because we have Lightshower, the damage does not hit us, and we do not need to destroy the rest of our field. We draw into Card Advance, which is helpful for getting more information. It's like another flower stacking or excavating a flower gathering. At this point, we can simply shuffle things back into the deck or into the extra deck if we have cards. And here we decide to go with Zebra Grass because it helps us draw cards. We are going to eventually get this 3rd Willow out, but it is helpful to have a Willow engraved for this so that we can shuffle one back in and at least keep 1 Willow in deck. And here we are going to make another Lightshower, get those Willows and that Moonflower viewing engraved. We're going to activate our Willow, special summon it. At this point, we are going to activate Flower Stacking. Here we're going to stack Cherry Blossom with Curtain, Cherry Blossom, and we have options of Zebra Grass, Peony with Butterfly, or Calligrapher. We went with Zebra Grass this time to get another extender. We're going to stack Curtain, Cherry, and then Zebra Grass. And here you can either draw from a card like Willow with Calligrapher, or you can shuffle back into your extra deck, Moonflower viewing. So we decided to go with doing that. We special summon our Curtain, we special summon our Cherry. Cherry is going to activate, we're going to draw our Zebra Grass, and then we have options of things we can special summon, and usually it's helpful to make sure you have a tuner, but because we have a tuner that isn't necessarily something that we need, we decided to go with a Polonia because it's an extender that we can get out. And we want to try keeping enough cards in our deck to be able to activate Flower Gathering if we end up drawing that. We special summon out our Zebra Grass, and then we special summon out our Willow with Calligrapher, our 2nd tuner of the deck. Here, again, we have options of what we want to special summon. I simply decided to do Moonflower viewing because drawing cards is helpful, looking for more fuel is really good, and we are going to draw our card with that. We have the decision of using Card Advance here or at other points to get more information, and it's helpful to stack the top of our deck. So this gives us information on what we can draw. Helpful things that we could draw into are Flower Gathering, but then stacking the top of the deck is kind of a moot point if we draw that with Moonflower viewing. We could try to draw into Recardination and discard it with a Flower Cardian to get another spell, and then stack the additional card that would be under these. But really, the decisions come down to if we want to use the Cherry Blossom in hand, or if we want to shuffle these away, or if we want to use the Flower Gathering. So our decisions are quite varied. They go in different directions. Flower Gathering obviously changes the deck. It would be helpful for Flower Gathering to first use our Pot of Avarice to make sure we have the appropriate number of cards in our deck to activate Flower Gathering. But it definitely varies. So here we decide to stack Flower Gathering to draw it with Moonflower Viewing. And then we are going to activate Cherry Blossom and discard our Recardination to get a spell, and then activate our Super All-In as our game plan. Sometimes these decision trees take a while to process. So after special summoning our second Moonflower Viewing, we draw into that Recardination instead of using the Cherry Blossom. We activate Super All-In and we start returning things. Here we return a Lightshower. We return some Willows too. We need that Lightshower again because we don't know the top part of our deck. Well, actually we do. This is a slight misplay in the fact that I could have sacked a monster on top and gotten, for example, another Willow, but this was to keep that third Willow in grave so we can shuffle that back. We drew a Pine. We're going to activate our next Willow, and we are making good progress towards special summoning our 3 Lightflares. We drew into a Cherry Blossom with Curtain, and we have decisions on what to special summon. Here, we want to try to special summon into the extra monster zone so we can make our light flares, and so that we can keep our Pine on the field, because that helps us with the rest of our special summoning. We can special summon a board fly here, which is helpful if you are trying to stop your opponent's graveyard effects. But we could also do another Moonflower. We decide to make a Lightshower, and we special summon Zebra Grass to get rid of some of those bricks in hand. We shuffle back both the Pine and the Curtain to draw a Curtain and a Magical Stone Excavation. We have a third Super All-In. Let's special summon that Cherry. We're going to blind activate our Cherry Blossom with Curtain, and unfortunately discard our Desynchro. It's unfortunate because that works really well with Moonflower Viewing and 2 Willows. But here we're going to activate Recardination to get a Willow with Calligrapher, and we are going to discard another Recardination to get a reincarnation in hand. Here we have various things that we could stack, and there might not be a right decision because of being able to use flower gathering or being able to use pot of avarice or even that last reincarnation that we have. We decide to stack willow with calligrapher, cherry blossom, and peony with butterfly to be able to special summon a moonflower viewing and draw into that calligrapher. That calligrapher will end up special summoning and getting us our cherry blossom, and that cherry blossom will activate successfully with that peony with butterfly on top. So we special summon the cherry, and we can activate it. We drew our card, and from here we're going to get Willow. We special summon our Willow, activate it, and we can either shuffle back in a Moonflower viewing or a Willow. I prefer Willow so we can keep one in deck. Now we have options. We want to try to use that flower gathering at some point, but we'll have to use Pot of Avarice. We can also use our reincarnation, get back something like Willow, and then special summon out that Pine. We have a few things that we can do, and at this point we are going to activate Pot of Avarice. We're going to pull back in some of our lower attack and defense Flower Cardians with the hopes of being able to activate that flower gathering after we make our first Lightflare. Ooh, thankfully we drew into 2 willows. This is very helpful. We need more gas. As you see, we are running low on cards in our deck. So we decide to shuffle in a Moonflower viewing to draw the top card of our deck. And we make our first Lightflare. Here we decide to use Pine because we can get another Pine with Flower Gathering. Usually when you're activating Flower Gathering, it's nice to get a Willow, but because we have them in hand, we don't need to get one. It's nice to get one because it's a helpful card to both have on field for Willow with Calligrapher and to have in the graveyard. So here we can simply make our second Lightflare, getting rid of our first Lightflare, and I decided to special out a peony. This is not the most ideal situation. We simply could have made that Lightflare, but here we have to get rid of our Pine that we just special summoned. It was a bit of a misplay, but we have to pay attention to the fact that we have 2 Lightflare so far. One of them is in grave and one is in the extra monster zone. We need to keep that one in the extra monster zone, and the goal is to get our last Lightflare onto the field and any light showers into the graveyard. We're going to activate Willow. Willow is going to shuffle in a Willow to draw more cards. We drew Willow. Activate Willow. to shuffle in a willow, and we drew our last willow. Activate willow. So we are going to shuffle in a Paulownia. Because we don't have a pine, we need Paulownia, and we now have, again, 5 Flower Cardians to make our last Lightflare. Okay, Lightflares are made. We activate Magical Stone Excavation, discarding some unneeded cards to get back Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is very important because it gets back our last Moonflower viewing that was in our graveyard. And now we could draw a card, but we need that last card to be drawn by Super All In, so we don't draw a card here. We activate Super All In, we return our Moonflower viewing, we get back our Lightflare, we get back Lightshower number 1, number 2, and number 3. Light flares you can keep in attack mode. Light showers should go into defense mode unless you are attacking. We are left with 0 cards in our deck, and here is our final board. I would also like to go over the deck list with you. I play 2 Paulownia, 2 Willow with Calligrapher, 3 Willow, 3 Zebra Grass, 3 Peony with Butterfly to make 5 tuners, 3 Cherry Blossom with Curtain, 3 Cherry Blossom, 3 Pine, 3 Super All In, 3 Flower Stacking, 3 Recarnation, 3 Magical Stone Excavation, and 1 Pot of Avarice, 1 Rhoda, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Flower Gathering, 1 Desynchro, and 1 Card Advance. For the extra deck, we play 3 Lightflare, 3 Lightshower, 2 Boardfly, 3 Moonflower Viewing, 1 Herald of the Arclight, and I rounded out with 3 Excisees.